Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Casa Podcast. Today, we're back again. We took a little break. It was a forced break, but we're back. Today, I have the crew in the building. I have Quissy Frost in the building. I have Sam in the building, and Ifya Bois is back again. Hey, guys, how you guys doing?
Hello, hello,
Hi,
hello.
how you doing?
Hello.
We're good. We're
Uh,
good.
Hey, are you sure?
good.
I see the
Good
Shades
one.
man here with Ifya looking amazing with her braids, and Sam is back. Sam, it's been a minute. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm doing amazing.
Yeah, the
Hey.
muscles are looking like you just walked out of the gym.
I
Mr. Muscle.
haven't been in the gym in months. Yeah, this
Hey,
is all part. Yeah,
hey,
Hey.
this is just natural. This is how you're built.
that's just part.
Hmm.
Don't be deceived.
It's amazing because today we're going to be talking about transparency, guys. Today we're going to be talking about transparency. And so today, Sam, you have to be transparent with how you get these muscles. You can't come and lie to us on the show. Look at me looking all loose in my clothes, and then
Ah,
you're there looking thick, and then you're not being transparent about it. But we're going to be talking about transparency. Um, we're all going to share what we're transparent about. We're going to open up to the world today. We're just going to let everything out, let every cat out of the bag. Quincy, how you doing? I like the shades.
I'm great. I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm great,
Hey,
man. I'm great.
Sunday fun day. We here. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, guys. Let's just dive right into the conversation. But before then, I can see Dachine is in the building. Hello, everyone. How you doing? Dachine, we're great.
Great.
We're great. If your boy keeps looking amazing, Sam looks muscular. The Shadesman is in the building with his White Sox cap. And I don't think the White Sox are doing anything great this season.
Let's not go there. Okay. You don't want to start that. You don't want to do
He
that.
does it.
I am not gonna.
Yeah.
We're not doing
Okay.
that today.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We're not you're not gonna win, so let's not go there.
I won't do that. For those of you
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
who are looking for Kwame, if you're here, please let us know you're okay in the chat. Let us know, Kwame. Just send us a hello in the chat. Let's know everything is okay with Kwame because this morning was very trying for Kwame. But we'll get into that at the end of the show. Guys, transparency. If you're what?
Good
Are you
job.
transparent? Do you think you're a transparent person?
To a large extent, yeah, yeah. To the things I want to be transparent about, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
I'm 100% transparent. Yes,
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Mr. Smith, are you transparent? Do you think you're transparent?
I don't think it's that straightforward. I don't think I can put a blanket answer and say I'm
Okay.
transparent or not. I think
This shows you're not
it
straightforward. You're
depends.
not. You are
That
not.
depends.
That's honest. That's
It
honest.
depends
Hey,
on,
people.
what it is. We can break transparency down into so many different,
Mhm,
aspects, topics, or whatnot. So it
mhm.
depends. Yeah.
It
Okay.
depends. And that's interesting. Mr. Frost,
To
same
a
question.
point, to a point,
Mhm,
depending on what aspect of my life. So
mhm.
I won't say I'm an open book, no, but
Okay.
I'm close. I'm close
Close.
to setting people or setting environment that I find myself in. You know, I'll
Amazing.
say that. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear. So now we're going to dive into the conversation. Since to us it's a varying, it's basically a spectrum, right?
Are
We're
you transparent?
somewhere. No,
Yeah. Are you transparent?
I'm sitting here with a blurred background. How do you people think this answer is going to go? I am not. I am not. I'm doing an episode on transparency and nobody can see my background. I mean, no, no. I am what they call a closed book put in a bag, locked in a safe, thrown into the middle of the ocean. Like I'm so far away from being an open book. But
Fort Knox.
yeah, for Knox, it's pretty easier to break in than it is to get to. But that's an exaggeration to a degree, and as and when it is useful, I can be very forthcoming. Unlike if you're a boy who is only forthcoming when it's the cops and when it's snitching, she opens up and she sings like a bird. Hash puppy is even tight-lipped than if you're a boy when it comes to snitching. but yeah, let's get into this. I want us to start the conversation off this way. As I was thinking about transparency, right? For most people, we're either transparent or not. But it's the why that seems to vary from individual to individual. Why people choose to keep certain things close to the chest, why people choose to put certain cards on the table, why people and who people select to be open and transparent to. That's kind of where most people vary. And today on the show, that's the conversation we're going to have. At our own level, at the individual level,
Mhm.
what are we not so transparent about and why? I really want to start the conversation that way. What are some things you're not open and upfront and transparent about? And why do you keep those cards close to your chest? If that's clear, I'm going to dive straight in. I'm coming for you. Kick it off for
Huh.
me. What are some things you're not transparent about? And why are you not transparent about those things?
I'll say some things are private.
Mhm.
I'm transparent with my wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not just gonna go to work and be all transparent with my coworkers about what I'm doing or what plans I have and all that. Like, no. So I think so. Back to what I said to an extent, now depending on the environment I find myself in. When I'm at work, keep it professional. Keep it, it's a script.
Mm-hmm.
Stick to the script. When I'm
Mm-hmm.
home, there's no script. We're living, we're building.
Mm-hmm.
So that's different. When I go around my friends, yeah, you transparent. You talk to them about stuff. Not everything, because I think anybody that says, "Oh, I'm an open book," and whoa, I don't know if I can say it's a fool, because certain aspect of your life, you can't just go around telling everybody, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's to an extent, I'm open
To an extent.
to an
And you
extent.
said something about work, right? And you said,
Yeah.
well, at work it's a script and we stick to
Hmm.
it. And so, do you think, okay, your reason for not opening up to your co-workers is just because, hey, we're here to care about the work that pays us and not
Hmm.
anything else? And so, do you then intend not to want to hear about their personal stuff? Do you?
No, it's no, I want to hear about it, but the question is, am I going to sit at work and tell them about my personal life? No, I'm not going to do that.
Mhm,
But I'm transparent with the work we're doing because you have to be. It's a team, right? We're
mhm,
working for a common goal, so I'm
mhm,
transparent with them when it comes to the work we're doing,
mm,
right?
mm,
Very transparent. Like for instance, okay, so I'm talking what I do, right? It's insurance business. If I'm talking to the market, maybe Georgia market president or CFO about a liability model that I built, I got
mhm,
to be transparent and tell them, hey, what you guys think you are accruing like maybe 20 million? It's not. It's actually 30, right?
mhm.
You can lose your job if you're not transparent, because
Okay.
then if you're not transparent professionally, you're lying,
Mm,
right? So you're
yeah, that's
transparent. But
true.
I'm not. But am I gonna sit and tell my CFO or my boss that um, my wife has a pimple on her back or whatever crazy personal or I forgot to clean the bathroom when my wife asked me to
Mm,
last month. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now we could talk about, hey, you could talk about your family. We could talk like
Mhm,
on the shallow level, like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we had a barbecue with my wife and her grandma or blah 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 last week. That's
Mhm,
fine,
mhm, mhm.
right? But I'm not about to tell him what color is my second bedroom or um my wife has a pimple and she's mad about it. Like this
Yeah, yeah.
this is oversharing, right? Yeah.
Okay.
We're
So,
not gonna
so
do
okay.
that, right?
I get that. I get that. So, yeah, oversharing and trying to stay focused, but then you be transparent with work stuff and things that matter, right? And in this
Yeah.
case, matter as in for work. If you're at work,
Joe, I want to ask Christy something he said, right? So
mhm.
he
Yeah.
was like, at work, if you're not transparent, you're
Oh no,
lying.
wait. Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so you were like, at work, if you're not being transparent, it means you're lying. How? So if you're
For
not,
work purposes, for
Yeah,
the
for
work
No,
we're
no, no,
doing,
no. For the work we're doing, yeah.
if you start hiding, say, figures, if you start hiding flaws, and like we're drawing plans for building
Mhm.
something, and then you've made a mistake and cover it up, well, you're lying, and it would come back to bite the
So
teeth. So,
hiding generally is we can equate hiding something to lying.
Well, so most people, you know how most people is like either you're lying, you're not. You know, sometimes I mean, we have half baked info,
Mhm.
right? Where you threaten the lines, fine lines of lying and not. Either you're lying, you're not. Like you're in the middle. You know, you're holding stuff to the perfect time to release it. Yeah. But when it comes to, like, for instance, data, right? It's black and white, right? It's
Mhm.
either you're lying or you're not. Either you're cooking it or you're giving this actual data, right? So
So,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
So away from
I
work,
think
so
if
right?
AY,
I
let's see if we can step in here. Sam, you had something,
yeah, I
right?
think in
Mhm.
terms of data, if you are
Mhm.
reporting some data and you leave stuff out, means that data is inaccurate and it's a
Mhm.
lie.
Mhm.
So it
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
And
yep,
and I
Just some
think for
context
work
is
purposes, and even with our friends and with our, if you deliberately cover something up, it's a lie. You can
yep.
omit things, right? You can
Mhm.
avoid talking about certain things. But if you cover things up, if you slide facts, right? You take one fact and look here and throw that one away. Yeah, you're lying. That's
Yep.
lying. But if you don't touch on it at all, if you don't talk about it, or if you don't go close to it, that's different, right? So if you're actively covering things up, if you're actively misleading people, that's lying. And then especially with work, you can get yourself fired. If you
Yep.
keep
if you
you're
are
Yep.
covering up your slip ups and
guilty
your
right
mistakes
now.
and you cook up data, you might end up losing your job.
Yep.
If you're listening, if you're in the comment section, let us know. Let us know. What do you guys think? Do you think?
I don't
Um,
think Kujo, I'm coming,
Yeah,
but
not
I want
people
us
are
to
thinking of
explore
it.
that part
yeah, we can definitely get
where
into it a little more.
we so if you hide something, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know if you avoiding to say something or hide something or not touch on something is equal to lying. That is where I don't get.
Can you
Actively
explain
running
your point?
interference, right? So
Like
that
Mhm.
something is not discovered. It's lying. That's what I think.
Lying is actually not just saying the truth. Like you are saying something different from the truth.
Okay, so if you I have a question, right?
Interesting.
You're presenting, you do a research, or you do, on like a project at work, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And you maybe, let's say you're doing like credit analysis, and you
mm-hmm,
use 50 people to come up with a result, to tell your CFO or whatever, your marketing VP, that, hey, we need to do ABC, right? And they ask you, okay, based on what? You use 50 people. If you tell them, right, that you use 30, right, and maybe the 20 will make it look bad, so you omit the 20, and you tell them you use 30 to come at your answer, is it
mm-hmm.
lying?
Yes, that's lying because that's not the truth. But the
Okay.
difference here is
Mm-hmm.
if you go out to present the data, right, and then you do
Mm-hmm.
not tell them, you tell them this is what I came up with, and these are the information, these are the results I got, and then you don't tell them, okay, this is just based on a sample population of just 50 people,
Mm-hmm.
because you know if you put that 50 out, it's gonna make your work no, I mean,
No, look so good.
sample size of 50 is too small. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we can't really depend on this result.
Yeah.
You would take that information out and then just present your data as if it's, you know, it has a larger sample size or something, you know, just presented your result. Is that lying? I mean, you're really showing what you have, but you're not
No,
changing
it
anything. You
is.
just taking certain information out because you feel like, okay, at this point, this information is not going to help.
AY, it is lying, and we can see from the numerous drug suits, right? Whenever the drug companies get to law of court, and then they start digging out the thing, yeah, oh, the drug is 95% effective. That's all they will say. They won't tell you in our clinical trials of 5 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah.
that is lying when you omit certain important facts, right? Deliberately with the aim to deceive. That's another thing. You can say something to someone with the aim of deceiving the person. You can omit certain information with the aim of deceiving, and they're all lying, right? you can keep quiet and lie to someone, right? If the aim of whatever you're doing is to deceive, is to mislead, is to guide someone down the wrong path, that's
Okay.
lying. I don't know how else we can go about
That
Yep.
that that makes things clear now.
okay.
Yeah.
So are there parts of your personality, yourself, your life that you hold closely or you guard closely to your chest, you're not transparent about? And why do you do it? That's the why is more important to me. Why do you do it?
Are you asking me?
Yes, AY. You on the
Yeah,
you're on the
you're
hot
up
Um.
seat.
next.
Yeah, I think when it comes to my struggles, I'm not really transparent about those things,
Okay.
not because I want to deceive or lie, but because I think people don't really understand it, and they will not,
Okay,
it
I
wouldn't
can
matter to,
relate.
they can't relate. Yes, people,
I
most people
agree.
can't relate to it,
Mm,
and they might take it differently. So that is one part I don't like sharing. Like, I'm
mm.
not gonna talk about it. Yes, it's not like I won't be transparent, but I'm not gonna talk about it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So your struggle, and when you say struggle, what exactly do you mean? Like,
Like things you've been through, like
mm,
things that
bad
really took
experiences?
bad experiences, like things
Okay.
not really bad, not bad, like not bad, like tough times.
Yeah, they are bad experiences.
Not
Sometimes are bad
bad, not all
experiences.
tough
Okay.
times are bad.
Okay.
Some of them is like, it's not terrible, it's not like something that will make you sad, but something that you need to be strong to go through.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. And
So,
so
mhm.
most often people can't relate. They ask you, most often it's just because they're curious, and then if you tell them, they can't really relate. They're like, I shouldn't have even given this information out, and
Okay.
it's just, yeah. So
You
I just,
know, people action, right? Action doesn't mean they care, though, right?
Mm,
yeah, that's
mm.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Some
Some
people
people just
actually
want to know.
just want to
Be
know.
nosy. They're nosy, trying to just want to
Yes,
know. Not like they
yes,
actually
True.
yes,
care.
True.
Like
yes,
True.
so.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
So
So
So for
sometimes,
those people, you don't let them in. You don't talk about it. But I
no.
am curious here. Is it so? Do you not talk about your struggles as you go through them, or even after you've been through them? Because I know people who would be quiet when they're going through things, and I try to do that as much as possible. Well, as I'm going through the thing, I don't want to talk about it. But after I'm done, if it can be helpful to someone, if it can be helpful to help someone who is in the same position to get through it, sometimes I would, talk about, hey, I was there and this is what I did to get out. So is it as you're going through it that you don't talk about it at all and you're not open about it? Or even after you've been through it, you're like, yeah, it's my life, it's my story, I keep it.
If I don't talk about it while I go through it,
Hmm.
it has to be something, really has to really come up for me to talk about it. Because if I didn't share when I was going through it, I might probably not talk about it again, like until it's so not relevant. And there are a lot of things, people don't, like, I as much as I'm open and people think I snitch a lot and say everything.
We don't think you snitch a lot. We know.
You guys think I
We
snitch.
know. We have a
Don't
whole
snitch.
season of Casa podcast where you're
Yeah, there are some
snitching
things that
every
I
episode.
think. There are things I think. There are things I genuinely think
Hmm.
people, they don't care. Inform they don't care about it. They will want to know for just because they're curious, but they
So
don't care. So
a
I'm not
comment
going to
just
talk.
came through, and I think it's related to what you're saying. So I'm going to put it up, and we're going to see if it touches on the issue, right? So Imari says, "So your vulnerability makes you feel as though people won't be receptive and empathetic." What do you think? You think it's your own desire not to be vulnerable that makes you think, yeah, they're not going to get it, they're not going to relate, they're not going to
I
understand what I'm
That is
going
very close,
through.
cause that's actually very close.
Hmm.
A lot of people. It's not a lot of people, honestly. It's just the fact that I think, you know, nobody really cares. So
Interesting.
True.
No, but
like,
Imari is
Uh,
drawing our attention to something.
yeah.
Sometimes we are not transparent. We prejudge a situation because of our own vulnerability. I don't want to look vulnerable. I don't want people to know I'm going through tough times. I don't want people to know I'm struggling. And so we
but
come up with reasons like, oh, they don't get it. They can't relate. They don't care.
yeah.
And
But
so
not
we
everybody deserves that though. Not everybody
absolutely,
deserves that.
absolutely, I
For the
agree. But
people that you pick, you think that they deserve it, you have to be vulnerable with them.
mhm, mhm,
Like
mhm,
I always say, my like if you was talking about struggles, right?
mm,
My struggles growing up or my struggles as an adult, wherever, right?
mhm,
Personal, finance, emotional, spiritual, whatever.
mhm,
I draw a hard line. I draw a line in the sand, right?
mm,
It's my partner.
mhm,
I'll be transparent. My
mhm.
very close friends that I know they
Okay.
care. They give me good advice. I talk to them.
Mhm,
And I'm saving the rest for when I have kids.
mm,
Everybody else, you got to prove yourself, right?
mm.
So that's where I draw the line in the sand. I have
I,
a select few of people that I will share with,
hmm.
right?
It's interesting and it's amazing. And Imari, thanks for the comments, right? Because what she just did is tell us about another why we actually didn't explore.
Yeah.
Well, for some of us, we're not transparent, and our why is one, we don't want to be vulnerable. And she brought in another comment, and I have to pull it up. It has to do with mistrust. Sometimes we've been through an experience. Sometimes we've shared certain vulnerabilities with some people. We've shared some struggles. We've shared some issues with people, and they did not handle it well. Broke our trust, made it
Yep.
difficult for us to open up again. And so most of us
Uh,
tend to, the why is not necessarily the person in front of us. It's just that we have trust issues. So the why is us. I don't want to be vulnerable because I've
mhm.
been vulnerable to the wrong person, and the wrong
Yep.
person used it for the wrong thing. And
Yep.
so it's very deep and powerful how she's
Uh,
basically lighting up the chat. I'm going to go through the chat
and
again.
that's where a fear
It,
is coming from, right? When she said they don't care,
mhm.
I got her
I think
point.
it's, yeah, it's
That's
an
what she's
issue of
coming from,
trust
right?
and all that. Yeah, you have to prove,
Yeah.
And
and you
then
even laid it on, right? Selecting the
mhm.
people who hear, right?
Oh
It's the
yeah.
people who you trust. There's the people who earned your trust, like
Yeah.
my wife, my
Yeah.
kids, like a select group of friends. These people I can be vulnerable to because I know they care, and I can trust them with this. I can trust
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
with my vulnerability, with the struggles I'm going through. With it's a very interesting. So amazingly, we were talking about what we're not transparent about, and most of the why hadn't actually come up until some of the comments started coming. Sam, I'm coming to you right away, but I'm going to go through a few of the comments. Right? Prince said, "Mr. President will give it all." Kwesi, hey Kwesi, are you running for president? If you're running for president, let us know.
No. I'm president in my house.
Ew.
I don't even think I'm the president in the house. So,
I know you're not the president of the house.
so
I know. The president
yeah,
is making the show today.
yeah. That's my boss. Yeah.
Datin is asking, does being honest show how transparent you are? I don't know about that. We'll come back to that question. Datin.
You,
Edward Morgan is saying a problem shared is a problem halved. Interesting. Kwame is here. Kwame, you're doing well. I can see that because you're shaking your head. Kwame is shaking his head, and I think he's doing great. Just like myself, we're doing great, and you get to know why Kwame and I are doing great at the end of the show. Song Tao is checking in, brother. It's so great having you on the show. Thanks for checking in and thanks for joining us. Let us know what you think about the transparency thing. The man who doesn't want us to even see his eyeballs claims he's transparent. Let us know what you think.
No.
Thanks,
You've
man.
seen, you guys have seen enough of my eyeballs for the last few weeks. You've seen enough of
Yeah,
that. So,
see. Okay. So Imari sends a couple more comments. It's a hierarchy, and it starts with trust. I completely agree. I think trust is the foundation, and everything else is built on that. Trust allows you to be open, and if you're open, you eventually learn to be transparent. That's deep.
yeah,
That's
good
deep from
point.
Imari.
Good
She's
point.
saying
Good
trust
point.
allows you to be open, And if you're open, eventually you learn to be transparent. Paul's Graphy. Paul's Graphy is here and he's saying a problem shared, solved. Some
If you
problems
like
shared
that, if you would like that
will
comment.
bring more problems. Better not share, and that is completely understandable. Paul's a lot of us can relate. Sometimes we've shared some problems, and it's led to way more problems.
Yeah.
And in having this conversation and in discussing this topic, the reason why the why has become important is because of some of these things. We can relate on a certain level, right? And so yeah, definitely. Hey, Kwesi, your glasses and your
Hey,
cap.
what's up, Pause Graphy, that's my man.
Oh,
That's my man right there.
okay. Michael, like, don't just watch. I just didn't read that right. I have to read that right. So
Yeah.
Kwesi is telling, Kwame is telling us what to do today. He's saying, like, don't just watch and comment. So if you're here, just don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't done that yet, come on, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because we're here almost every week. And the conversation is going to keep going. We enjoy your inputs. We enjoy when you send your comments in. Please keep the comments coming. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know why you don't open up, why you're not transparent. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I am the most transparent person on the show today because you can see from my background, it's so clear. You can see everything. I'm very transparent. Kwesi and the rest are not. Kwesi just painted everything black like we're not going to get into it. But let
I'm in
me
the
get
studio, man. I'm in the studio. Man.
yeah. Let's get to Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, talk to me.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are some things you're not transparent about, and why are you not transparent about those things?
Okay, so regards to that, I think this applies to relatively almost everyone. Finances. I
Okay.
think regarding our finances, everyone is a bit, holds
Not
back.
everyone. No.
No. I mean, okay, if you how much is in your account, right?
Hey, well, talk about calling someone out. He
I
just
can
called
tell
out.
you. I can
Okay.
tell you, but not
Go
on the
ahead.
show.
You said
Not on
not
the
everyone.
show. No. The
Oh.
fact that I'm not gonna tell you on the show does not mean I'm not
And okay, good.
transparent.
So this goes back to something I wanted to say earlier when Chrissy was speaking. I wanted to say it before, and he confirmed it. Like being transparent. You asked me earlier if I'm transparent, and I was also going to say it's really about the people you are dealing with as well. You are different
Yeah.
based on who you are interacting with. Like how he says he's transparent with his wife, but others he isn't. I also find that I am relatively way more transparent to certain people. Like let's say, let me give an example. My dad, I can tell him just about everything, you know. And on the flip side, let's say friends. I have people, of course, I'll call friends, but there's a lot I wouldn't tell them.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I could stay in a room or an apartment with you. We are close. We see each other every day, and there's still going to be a limit to my transparency. It's not everything I'm going to share with you, but here we are staying with each other, seeing each other every day. You know, I'll be more transparent with someone I've not seen in or spoken to in a year than I would with you I stay with every day. So it's really about the people we're dealing with.
Why though? Why?
The why, yes, the why.
Like,
Why do you?
yeah, and I was, that's what comes naturally to me. And I just as we started discussing, I was trying to unpack why. And a bit of what Ifya said hit with me. One, okay, so one, this is my personal opinion. One, it's just not your business. And
Okay,
not everyone really cares, It's the
true,
truth.
true.
I mean, people just don't care that much. It's just for listening sake. I mean, for curiosity. But if I'm to come tell you some stuff, do you really care?
Mm,
I mean,
mm.
does it really bother you, or is just everything will be fine?
Interesting.
Just throw an answer in my face just to accept. I mean, so I have to know those who I'll open up to, and those who I know really care about what I'm saying,
Hmm.
and will give me some genuine feedback. Yeah.
That's interesting. People don't really care, and I think a lot of people feel that way. right? And we did realize, or at least it was brought to our attention that some of it stems from, mistrust. Some of it stems from our experiences through life. And I think another thing is generally sometimes we, as much as we don't give ourselves credit for, we analyze things a lot, and sometimes we overanalyze. And one of the questions I ask myself is, if it's someone else going through what I'm going through, would I want to hear about it? Sometimes it's no. Not that I'm a terrible person, but sometimes I really don't know, want to know. And so I feel like, yeah, people don't want to know. If I don't want to know, I'm going to treat people like, I want them to treat me. So I won't burden people with certain things, because if it's your turn, please don't come and burden me with it. And so sometimes it's just a self-preservation kind of thing. Do unto others what you want them to do unto you. So I'll tell you about as much as I want you to tell me. Don't start showing me pictures of your cat and your dog and all the freaks. I don't want to know. And so sometimes, right, especially in the workplace, tell me about your day. Tell me about, general scope of how things are going on at home. That's fine. Too much detail is too bad. Like when you start going into the details of I'm like, it's enough, right? And sometimes we all do that. It's like, how much do I want to hear about this? And sometimes we share about just as much. And so yes, there are too many details that people really don't care about, and we're trying to spare them. But some people are also very curious. They're like, hey, listen, I want to hear. I want to hear everything. But yeah, the why is interesting. And Kwesi touched on work and family stuff. Ifya talked about struggle. You talked about finances. And I'm going to drop some things here. It's funny. The first bit is just a joke. You guys should let it go. Don't ask me any more questions. But one of the things I'm not transparent about is history. History.
Is what?
History.
What history?
When
Your family history?
You can put anything in front of that. When I meet someone, listen, the past is the past. I'm not gonna. Don't ask me. I won't tell. I don't want to ask you.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell. Let's not do that thing.
History about what?
Oh, you should
It's
know.
coded. But then the main thing I wanted to touch on is health, right? Especially medical emergencies and medical issues. I find it very difficult to talk about, especially when it's going on. There are times in my life I've gone through very major medical procedure and just not told anybody. I'll tell people probably after the fact. I don't know why, but for me, in my experience, I realize people make it worse than what I'm going through. So if I'm going through something medically, it's troubling. It's the one thing you're thinking about all the time. Like if you have to go get surgery, like especially if it's like you're scheduled to have surgery like in a month. As it draws closer, you're personally thinking about it all the time. You're hoping everything goes well. The minute you talk to someone else, it becomes the issue of the visitors mourning more than the bereaved. They tend to worry and get way too scared, and sometimes their anxiety and some of that rubs off on you and makes the situation even worse. Like, listen, I'm not sitting here chilling and having a good time. I'm worried about the impending whatever it is. You asking me every 2 minutes, did it change? Did your leg get better? I'm like, it's stressful. That alone is very stressful. So sometimes I would just go through the whole thing, and when I'm done, I'll call my dad. I went and did that. Cool. How was it? It went well, but I didn't want anybody to be worried. And sometimes the worry becomes, they're texting you every time. Like, so they see you and they see that issue. So you have, say, you're going to fix it. And let's talk about the light ones. You're going to fix your ACL. You tore an ACL in a game. Now they see you and all they see is a broken ACL. Hey, how's your leg? How's the leg? Like, there are other things. We can live. Like, let's do things to get our mind off the torn ACL. But it's like, that's what everybody wants to talk about. So for that reason, when I have medical emergencies or something medically wrong, I like to get it sorted out before even the people I trust, before I can talk about it, because people worry way too much and it makes me even more nervous than I should be. Where you're going to go and your grandmother is like, hey, call me so I can pray for you, come, and their line is just jammed and it's like, listen, I just want to go in and out. Like, let's not do this.
I have
with a history, why?
history, just doesn't do well for anybody. People are forced to lie, and
Let a person listening
hey,
decide.
look at you.
No, no, no,
It's
no. I
not.
don't
It's
agree
just
with
a
that. If yeah,
bad thing.
It's bad.
It's a bad thing.
Quasi, you
I
also think it's
don't.
bad.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Like, not everything that you went through or you did that you're proud of, and certain things you let, what they say, let the sleeping dogs lie or
Lie.
lay or whatever. Let them sleep. Let them. But I have some for you guys. Like
Mhm.
that I think when I was in Ghana, somebody made a joke that nobody in this world is more secretive than a Ghanaian that just got issued a UK or a
Visa.
US visa. So I want to know. I want to know that why is it that when people, especially when they're older and maybe they've been through some stuff and they just want to get out, go hustle. Why is it that when they get a visa, they don't? You guys are
Yeah,
laughing, but I'm
but that
serious.
is
I
true.
genuinely want
No,
to know
but it's a good joke
what.
though.
Why is why is it that why is it because of the whole superstition, like
Yep. Yep.
fear witches and all that, like
Yep.
I mean, but then also they said witchcraft don't fly on a plane, they can't cross the ocean. So what is why they being so sick? Because I don't know if
I mean, the
So,
witchcraft can
mhm.
fly on the plane and live with you, but it can work where you are, so it will stop you.
And let me extend that joke, Quizzy. So I have a friend and we work out together. He told me whenever he got issued his visa, he
yeah,
starts writing things like this on his status, like, "Oh man, if I see a bronidia." Right, like
yeah,
they start getting deep. For those who don't understand, basically it's like
yeah,
basically the grass is greener on the other side, right? They start writing all these deep quotes.
yeah,
They become
yeah.
suddenly very deep, they start, so they're telling you things, but they're not going to be
Philosophers.
direct, right?
Yeah,
They're like, yeah, it's going to be good in a few days. Like, life's going to change. Like, they start writing stuff like
yeah,
that
but
on their
one
WhatsApp
one
status.
the one the one the witches
The witches can
sense that
crack that code.
code. Because see, MJ from PY, right? MJ told me he had a friend that he was telling all of us the other day that he had a friend that had was it UK or US or German visa, whatever. And the day he picked up his passport from the embassy, he went home. He never came outside till the night he was going to the airport. That's the fact. He never came outside. So don't you guys stop laughing if you don't you don't you guys think we are giving these witches too much power by doing that if it's true?
Okay,
So, okay,
let me.
Sam.
This I saw a lot of these stuff said, so I'm just trying to shine some perspective on. It's not like
Let's be
no,
hold on.
it's
Let's
not
be
like I'm
transparent
not
with the
saying
witches.
I'm not saying I believe in all this, but
You
the
know,
perspective is the
He
perspective
does. He
the
does.
moment you let your, it's not like the witches are working
yeah,
on their
yeah,
own.
yeah, yeah.
They have to be directed towards you
Mm,
by someone.
mm,
So if whatever the fact is, maybe you are going to the US, it's not
Uh
known,
huh.
and you
Uh
are in
huh.
your zone. The
Uh huh.
person who is going to direct the witches does not know you are going anywhere, so he's
Uh
chill,
huh.
he's calm. But the moment
But
is known, he can now activate the witches and direct them to you.
wait,
but
wait.
It's not like
So
the
but
witches
let me,
are
but
working
wait,
Quizzy,
wait,
are
wait,
working on
Quizzy.
wait.
their own.
Mhm.
They are
I
just
have a question.
they are,
I have a follow up question.
Hey, you let us even answer the first one. Okay, ask that and
Oh
we'll
no, no,
answer both.
it's all together, right? I'm
Okay.
just saying. Don't you guys think, since the topic is transparency, right?
Mhm.
Don't you think maybe we should be transparent with the
The
witches?
witches.
So no, our way of sticking it to them, like you can't touch me, fool.
Okay, okay.
Like
So,
you know.
so I would say this. I'm not big on all that. I don't believe in all the witch stuff. But
yeah.
this is what
Yeah.
and this is just the most natural explanation. Like whatever it is you're doing, sometimes keeping your circle tighter helps, and it's just for if something goes wrong. So, for example, I'll tell you a story with something like that. Say person A gets a visa and is scheduled to travel in like 2 weeks.
Mhm.
goes about posting on social media, taking a picture of the visa, letting everybody know. You meet them, you're like, good.
That's just stupidity.
No, I'm just wait. You meet them, good morning. It's like, yeah, good morning from your future Americana. Like they just keep, you know, balling up, and something falls through. They can't get the ticket, or maybe something happens. We all know all these immigration stuff. You get to the airport and you're about to board. There's some things wrong with your paperwork before you realize
It's minor.
it's been refunded. You've been stopped from entering the country. Yeah,
Yeah.
person there comes back to town, and can you imagine how the reverse is gonna go?
They're just
You
gonna
want
roast him.
exactly,
They're just gonna
exactly,
roast him. But
because people don't have certainty about certain things. Like even with jobs, like if you're interviewing with companies, you're not going about like, hey, listen, you're talking to the next Dow exec, man. Like I interview with them, it's a lock, and then it doesn't fall through. Well, the rust is going to go on for years, right? And so for some people, it's just until things have really worked out, until I have that job, until I have that car, until I have that deal has gone through, they're not going to be out there putting their business in the street. And like Kwesi was saying, Sam was saying, some people may not really care, but once it's out there, they would also talk to people who actually care about making sure whatever it is doesn't work out. And so you
yeah.
you get your visa, you come tell me, I really might not care. But then you go tell some uncle who works at the Customs and Border Patrol, he's like, listen, let's take away to him. Let's just put some drugs in his bag, and people who can have bad intentions can get to know. So they say, when you speak, words have walls of ears, right? The minute you start putting your business out there, you begin to give people who don't have the best of intentions time, especially if people have to plan for like a month to make sure you don't travel. Oh, come on. They can't. And that's why probably the guy never got out of his room. The day before you go, someone will just hit you in the head with something, and you're hospitalized. And then the flight goes away, and then it's like something could happen. And so just keeping the circle
Okay.
tighter and just keeping a lid on things. So like the truth is, when things really pop, when you really pop, people would know. You don't have to advertise. So work hard, keep everything under wrap till you're on the stage, right? Till you're being celebrated. Then people are going to know. You don't have to tell people. I think that's how people approach it, not necessarily the witches.
No,
Anyway,
but
what do you think?
everything you said,
That's actually everything he
at
said is
those
actually.
from our place, their perspective and their explanation is that paperwork went wrong because of
Because
the
yeah,
witches.
my uncle,
That job
my uncle
didn't go
knew.
through because
Mhm.
someone has directed the witches to go
Yeah.
there. Everything that went wrong because someone has finally successfully directed the witches towards them.
Absolutely,
It's an
absolutely, and
unfortunate mindset, but that's what it is where we come from.
but again, I think it's just for a lack of a very well organized explanation. It's easy to blame the supernatural for things you can't understand. Why didn't we see go? Hey, well, his uncle who was a wizard just cast a spell on him.
Oh yeah, Charlie guys. So that's the thing. I mean, you can be transparent, but keep your like you were saying, keep your circle tight, man. Keep it so tight that when you walk to a room, nobody can tell who the boss is. That is my motto. That's how I roll.
Yep.
If people close to me, we got to be that tight on that like cohesiveness, right?
Mm-hmm.
We click so good that if we walk somewhere, there's four of us, five of us, six of us, we walk together, you won't be able to tell who's the boss. That is a goal,
That's deep. That's deep.
right?
That's deep. That is
Yeah,
deep. Like
yeah,
being that close knit,
yeah,
being that tight lipped,
yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
that person who can fit in with their friend group. Because the thing is, when
Yeah.
people know who the boss is, it's easy to target. If
Yeah.
Oh
we're
yeah, yeah, yeah,
together,
yeah,
if there's
Yeah.
yeah,
cohesion, if there's
yeah,
we're
yeah,
walking
yeah,
in lockstep, if we're
yeah.
you can't hit us all. That's
Yeah.
so deep, and it's
Yeah.
it's a very I don't know if I can say this on the podcast, but organized stuff like in
Yeah, I know what
organized
you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
exactly
Yeah,
in
yeah.
organized systems,
Like
you have
What do
to
you
be.
mean?
because
I don't get it.
if
AY,
yeah,
we
you'll get
can't
it
say
later.
everything on the
Then
show. We
here,
can probably
but
talk about it. I don't want our channel to be demonetized.
yep. And it's like that. You can like it's okay. It's okay to be transparent with the right people, but when they say if you're the richest guy in your circle, right, and everybody's broke, there's something wrong with you
Yeah.
because when they come for you, there will be nobody to defend you,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yep.
So I mean, with that and transparent, you transparent with the people in your circle. You guys are tight, but you don't just walk around. If you anybody that tells you, "Oh, I'm an open book," everybody and their grandmama knows everything about me is a fool. That's just what it is. That you're a fool.
It's not a very smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I
You can't just go
completely
around like no.
agree. But
So
we're probably going to be ending the show very soon. But there's another side of transparency I really would love for us to touch on before we go. And so we talked about the things we're not very transparent about and the why. And today, Imari took us through a whole group guidance counseling session where we got to know the real problem and we got to know what our why really is. But aside all this, there are things that we want the people around us to be transparent about. It's funny how that works, huh? There are things we don't want to be transparent about, but we would wish other people would be transparent about, or even the ones we're transparent about. What are some things that you would want to know, especially if you have a very tight friend group, or if you have a family, or you know someone going through it? What are some things you would like to know, and why would you want to know? What are some things you want people to be transparent about? I would start. If you're around me, especially the people, my friends, I don't want them to go through things like financial struggles by themselves. Sometimes you hear something after the fact and you're like, you should have talked to me. Like, you needed 200 Ghana cities for something and you had to do all that. If you talk to me, like sometimes it's heartbreaking when you hear the lengths people go through and like, come on, it's me. Just talk to me. Personally, I don't want people around me to be so worried about. We can handle it and we'll talk about whatever it is later, right? Like a lot of times I just want us to fix whatever the problem is, and then we'd handle however we manage to get whatever we use back to put it back where we took it later. But people are not I didn't want to bother you. I didn't want to. Like, you did all that. You went through 5 months of pain where you could have just. So sometimes it rubs me the wrong way. I'm like, talk to me. Just let me know. So that's one of the things I like for people. I know Sam is like, I don't want to talk about finances, but Sam, if you're going through something and you don't tell me, I'm going to kick you in the bum. But yeah, that's me. That's me. What else? What do you guys want the people around you to talk to you about, and why? AY.
uh
Yeah. So, busy, you
Chrissy,
can go.
go. I'm so
oh
thinking.
if we're gonna be in a relationship, right, it's emotional, like girlfriend, wife, whatever. Yeah, you got to be transparent with me. But I'm big on if there's money involved, if it's business, right?
Mhm.
Be transparent. There's asymmetry info in business where not everybody in the transactions gonna know everything. That's fine, but you got to be transparent with me. For example, if I'm helping you out do something, there's money involved, then yeah, there's you got to lay it out. Let me know. So that part, yeah, I'll be transparent,
Okay.
but not every part. I'm not gonna be super transparent on a job interview. Especially if I need a job,
Mhm.
I stick to the script. Professional, stick to the script. Tell them we all know what they want to listen to, right? They're interview books for a reason. We all know what they want to listen to,
Mhm.
right? So you can't just walk in there and be transparent, because being transparent there is suicidal. It'll get you shot in corporate America. Job
Okay.
interview. So yeah, that you can't be transparent like with a visa thing in Ghana. You can't. Apparently they're coming for you. Just like rappers, right? Look at rappers, right?
Mhm.
You come from the ghetto. You're about to get signed. Then you go run your mouth, right? And then your
You don't get
hater or
signed.
whatever. Not even you don't get signed. The morning before you get signed, they put two in your chest.
That's what I
And
mean.
yeah. You don't get signed. Dead people don't get signed. Yeah. And so there's levels to this thing. Like there's categories, like to this thing. So that's what I'll say.
Okay, AY, what are some things you want people to be transparent about, and why? Why do you want them to be open about it?
I want people to be transparent to me about things that involves me.
Okay,
I
tell
don't
us
know.
more.
I'm trying to, put something together, but if there's anything going on
Mhm.
that I'm involved, I want 100% transparency. Like if I'm in there, if it affects me the slightest way, I want to know. And also, yeah, basically if it involves me, I just want you to be transparent about it.
So your
Like,
why is just I want to know.
not because I want to know, because it involves me. And so most often when things go wrong, because it involves me, sometimes I would have to take responsibility. And so I would want to know from the start, okay, this is how things are going, this is it. So that if it goes wrong, I'm prepared to do something, you know.
Okay.
And it's also a form of respect, I think. Yeah. When someone is involved with, you guys have a business together, you guys have something going on, and then you're not being transparent, it's just hard to deal with people like that. So for me, anything that I'm involved with, like if I have something to do with you, like a business, like a project, I want you to be transparent about it, like 100%.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. You don't want to be caught pants down, and then you have
No,
to go and
no.
present on something you've not even seen and save people's behinds and their jobs.
I want to know when I'm involved. I want to know. But if I'm not involved, you can keep it. But the moment I get involved, like even if, and one thing too, I'd want you to, let me in before someone else let me in. You'll be like, oh, this really doesn't, there's not really a big
Do
deal.
you mean let you in before somebody else snitches?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like when I find out from someone else, it will be
okay.
too hard to deal with
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, if I'm involved, just let me know beforehand.
Mm. Okay, so Imari is asking, is your why accountability? Is do you want to know so that you can give account of whatever the event is, or just for accountability's sake? That's your why.
My why is because sometimes I would need to take responsibility.
Yeah,
That is
you
my
have to be
why.
accountable
I would
all
have to
points.
account for it, or I would have to step in,
Okay.
or would I have to take some liability, some form of, it's like s- I'm involved in this. I would have to, put in something.
Okay.
Something will be gone.
Okay.
And so if something is leaving, like I have to be, I
You
don't
have to
like to be,
know about it.
yeah, I
You
have to
don't
know.
want you don't like being blindsided.
No.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then someone else letting me in, that's even worse. That's
Mr.
even worse.
Smith, think about it
Yeah.
because I'm coming to you. I'm going to read a few comments and then I'll come to Mr. Smith finally. Michael is saying, obviously, you can't be transparent with everybody, and people must earn your transparency. How? Individual perspective. I think
That's
what that means
true.
is you
That's
earn the
very true.
transparency, and it's from time to time you would have to show why you deserve it, of the account, the transparency. Mary said you basically have to code switch with transparency.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's so funny. Sometimes you have to code switch live. There's hot code switching where you're talking to someone who you can be transparent about. Someone else steps in, and then actively you have to decide: is the next thing coming out of my mouth supposed to? Then you
Mm-hmm.
can, you know. I like that act of code switching. It is very important. People really care, Michael says. They don't care if it doesn't fit their narratives. Other than that, people technically care.
That's not true.
I don't know about the technicalities. If Fia doesn't agree, but Kwame, I think you do have a point. People care. Sometimes they have a story in their mind, and whatever you're saying fits nicely. But there are people who also genuinely don't care. So I think it's only the last sentence in that submission that we may not agree on. Ifia can't say. I don't know what it is she can't say, but she
Yeah.
always like, I can't say, oh, I can't say. Then she proceeds to say. And then I'll be like, I don't know what I'm about to say. Then she proceeds to let us know. But it's been caught. Dachehine, thanks for catching her in the act. Kwejo, I'm transparent with people who are loyal to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's the whole trust, it's the whole being able to lean on them, people who've shown to be dependable, people who've shown to merit a seat at the inner table kind of loyalty. I completely agree. It's just that it's been made very unpopular by the last president who used loyal in a very interesting way. But hey, I digress. Prince is just cracking up over here. Mari is like, stop it. I think it was about the witches stuff. Whenever we started talking about the supernatural, yeah, people hold their vacations close to their chest. Yeah, people can tell you about their vacations like 3 months before they leave. In other parts of the world, people tell you the morning off. Even if it's not a vacation, people are
when they get
relocating.
there.
Exactly. People are
call you.
relocating and they won't tell you about it. It's rather interesting. Oh my God. Michael is attacking Quixie here.
Oh yeah, that's my number one fan, guys. That's my number one fan.
When you are transparent like them, they take your life. I can't even. Quixie, that's a message for you.
Like them, they take your life. It's
Now,
like
okay, them they take your life. Now you ain't transparent.
He's talking about when I got into a car accident, like when I almost died, but I'm here.
Kwame. There are some things you know, and it should be you knowing. You can't come and be commenting on a podcast that is going live. Like, you give us a lot of trouble. I didn't know about that, but we're glad you're here, man. We're glad you're here. Some act physically. When you do it, it's witchcraft. Oh, okay. Pause. Please don't do that to anybody. Don't stymie people's progress. Let people progress. I that's what I got from that. AY Puyo. Shout out to AY Puyo. He's being represented here by AY. If you're
I beg you guys.
Edward Morgan is telling us something, and I think it's a very important comment. And I wanted to take time. I saw it earlier, and I wanted to take time to really address this and hear what you guys think. Transparency is very important if you're dating someone with a different cultural background, especially if they don't understand some of your simple actions. I saw it earlier and I was like, this is very interesting. A lot of times when people date people of the same background with a very similar upbringing who know and understand certain things within certain contexts, it's easier. Whenever we date culturally, you really have to be open and transparent. The things that you would take for granted, the things you take as a given, are no longer a given.
Yep.
When you start dipping your bread in your tea, you would have to explain that. Like, boss, what's going on here? Right? if you start, shipping money off to your brother or your cousin, you have to explain, doesn't he have a job? Why you got to pay for that, right? There's so many things, and I think you do make a good point, Morgan, when you begin to interact, not just relationship, but even friends. When you have friends from a different background, sometimes it's good to explain things, right? To explain certain actions. If I'm walking with Kwesi and Sam and we go to a funeral and I know where I bump him, we're going right. I kick him on the right foot, we're squatting, right? We're jumping over that. Like, there are things, the cues that we can take because we shared a similar culture.
Yeah.
But the minute I bring, AY, the Americano, to a funeral, then I would have to explain why we have to go start shaking hands on the right and not the left. and why she has to sit here and get a bottle of Guinness and not go sit there and get a bottle of Star. There are things you have to explain, and it makes things a lot easier for your partner or your friend. And so, yeah, dealing with people who come from different cultures definitely demand a certain level of transparency. You may not be comfortable with it, but that's what comes with it. You can't just act and leave people hanging. And sometimes it makes you look crazy. That's what I can say. Like, if the person doesn't understand any of the things you're doing, why are you kicking the bucket over here? Like, it's our culture. Yeah, you have to explain that, right? Imari says, "Oh yeah, that was for Ifya. It was about accountability. But what if there is nothing to be accountable for, but yet it still involves you because both can be both can be true at the same time? If you, I think that's a very big question.
Yeah.
There are some things you may never have to account for.
Account for, yeah, but I still, the fact that I'm involved, I
You
need
just
to
want
know.
to know for knowing
Not
sake.
just, not for knowing sake. I don't know if you guys get this, right? But if I'm involved in some, I'm involved with you with like a business or something, you get it, and then something goes wrong. Maybe I don't need to account for it because I didn't make that mistake,
Hmm.
and it's a business that we are in, and then someone else from the outside comes to tell me, "Oh, do you know you made this loss and blah 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 blah." I'm like, okay, I don't know because he didn't tell me. Maybe because you don't think I have to, like, account for this. But then it gives this impression you're not involved, even though you're involved. You get it, and then you begin to question, how is this person who is not involved knows more than me? It's
Well,
like you really think you are somewhere, but you're not. It just gives you a clear sense of where you are at a point, at every point. So at which level you are involved and what your role is in that at that point. I don't know if I'm being very general, just so it would touch on
we,
everything.
we
But
we just will let it slide because I think there's a lot to unpack with that particular statement, and I think
Yeah.
it means something to you that maybe you may not find the words to put up on here. But
yeah.
Kwame said, "Important. This is an important one, and I need to let the world know."
Mm.
Michael Adu, aka Kwame, is saying, "I am not a fan of Kwesi. Please tell him
No, he
I'm
he a fan.
just
He a fan.
being transparent."
Transparent.
And so, if you didn't know Kwesi, now you know. Kwame said he is not a fan. Could you read my comment, please? Thank you, Kwame. I just did. I
Comment
just
is
did.
so dramatic.
And Kwame, I really appreciate your comments and everyone in the chat and in the comment section. We really appreciate you leaving a comment. It makes the show whole, and
Kwame.
I can't lie. Kwame on the
Uh,
show is everything I
Comment is
need on a Sunday.
dramatic.
Kwame, your team took 6 today. Okay, calm down.
We're
You are
going
a
to
fan.
Sam at this point. At this point, we're going to Sam. Before people derail the conversation, Sam, let's end with you on the transparency bit. Sam, give me what you would like the people around you to be transparent about, and why. Sam, I think
We
your
can
mic
hear
is
you. I think you've muted yourself.
Great. Yeah, my mistake. Yeah.
off.
So I've been thinking about this question for the past few minutes, and I just came to realize
Mhm.
it's not really about the individual topics, like let's say finances. So there's no one particular one I want anyone to be transparent with me about. I
Hmm.
just realize it's more about the people. And if you fall in the category, I would like you to be transparent with me about just about everything. And there are
Mm,
certain people I don't expect transparency from.
mm,
You know,
Hmm.
mm,
there are people who are close to me. It's more about them, and the wise probably just care about you and
mm,
care about what you have to
mm,
say. So I would like you to share just about everything with me,
mm.
whatever it is. I'm always willing to listen, and I would like to know. And there are people I don't expect transparency from you. So whatever it is, if
Hmm.
you want to tell me, I could
Hmm.
accept it, but I don't expect it from you. So
Okay.
I feel like it's for me, it's more about the people than
So let me ask and let me see if I get you correctly. So for you, is it a matter of the office? This is the office the person is in. So say Parents, transparency. Brothers, transparency. Partner, transparency. Best
Yeah,
friend, transparency.
yeah, yeah,
Right? And so if you were supposed to write like a constitution for the people who occupy offices in your life, that would come as a role of anyone who is in that position, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I understand. I understand. And I think it ties in with what Ifya was talking about earlier. That there are certain roles and positions if people occupy in your life, whether you like it or not, there may be
Yep.
things you'd have to answer to. Like I wouldn't want to be out there and say my partner's friend asked me, so how did the surgery go? What surgery? And then it's like you're finding out that your partner went through surgery from a friend, right? Or say her boss, or it's like in this office, please let me know because there are certain
Yeah.
things that, and that's where I understood where AY was coming from.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just not a good look when you get questioned about something that you're supposed to know and you have absolutely no
No
answer.
idea.
My solution to that is I give the most rational, common sense answer in the moment, and then whenever I retreat into the, because I'm not gonna go out there and be like, "Hey, I didn't know," or make people be bad. And sometimes even if it's business and I have to take the heat, your firm is trash. You people made big mistakes on here. Oh, we're sorry. We'll make sure we put everything in order. But when I leave and I find the person responsible, they're going to hear a piece of my mind, right? Publicly, maybe I'll take the hit. I would hold, if it's for accountability, I would put my hand up, offer the apologies, do whatever I need to do. But whenever I meet the person in the office or in the street, we're going to have a good talking to. And so, yeah, I completely understand that in certain offices, right? If you're going to be my best friend, there are some things you should be. I don't want to find out in the street.
Yep.
Listen, yeah. Imagine Kwesi is my best friend, and he comes and he's like, "Kwejo, can I get your car? I need to go pick up something." And then he gets to the airport, and someone comes and is like, "I told you people to go and wash the car, and now you are here. What are you doing with my car here?" Like Kwesi doesn't have to find out that I went to laboro the car while he's on a date at the airport, right? That's not how you want to find out. He should know as soon as I'm giving him the key, Jack, I laboro this range also. Jack, don't go to these corners,
Yeah.
And it's cool. You don't want to.
Yeah.
It's not going to be
Exactly.
a good
Exactly.
situation,
Exactly.
just,
Exactly.
just
That's
for
what I was
that
trying
reason.
to say. Yeah.
I know that was what you were trying to say. I just had to give you my Kwesi story because Kwesi gave me a car the other day that happened to be. I'm not snitching. I'm not snitching, guys.
Hey.
I don't snitch.
See
That is
you.
Ipia's job.
Yeah, but we I don't know. You go ahead. I want to say some last before we close.
Okay.
I have to
Yeah,
give my
we're
last.
going to wrap up on the
Yeah, so-
transparency conversation again. We've talked about transparency. We've gone through the things we like to not be transparent about, and our whys, right? Ifya told us about her trust issues and all the issues she had. It's very lovely on the show when Ifya starts opening up and letting us know all her vulnerabilities. It's always great.
Where did we come up
Kwesi-
with trust issues, Kojo?
Kwesi also was very transparent. He looked us in the eye and he told us the truth, right? Nothing but the truth through his glasses. Mr. Muscle sat in the corner, kept his hands folded, just flexing his muscles, but Mr. Muscle cleaned everything up for us. And I was here being very transparent, open book.
With
Like
your
I
blurred
said,
background.
my background lets you know that I'm the most transparent person. I let you know everything. Like you can read me. You can read me like a book. But we've had a lovely conversation on transparency. I've learned quite a bit about the why I do certain things, and Sam gave me a last lesson. Like keep the offices and keep the rules in the offices. So if you assume the office, I'm sorry, but these are what the Constitution stipulates you do, right? If you're going to be in this office, you have to tell me certain things. And I think especially with my parents, and when they get to a certain age, as much as we don't want to share medical stuff, at that point, please, it's not up for debate. Talk to me. Let me know when I should take your car keys. Like, let's help keep each other safe, right? And so obviously the things we would have to, the hard conversations we're going to have with the people around us, and the times we're going to, even if it's not comfortable for us, we're going to have to be open books and be transparent with them. And so that was our section on transparency, and we're going to end the show. But before we do, I know Efia and Kwesi have been steaming and they've been bubbling from the beginning of the show to talk about some sport. At this point, I would give them 30 seconds.
Oh, I don't even need. I don't
A
need 30
combined
seconds.
30 seconds. The two of you have just 30 seconds.
Ifya, you go first. Ifya, go first.
Oh, Chrissy talk. I think Kujo got everything wrong. I don't have anything to say.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, this cause is actually there for everyone to see your team is trash. So
Mhm.
I'm not gonna talk about it today.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
good.
I just so on the issue of transparency, I just want everybody to think about something.
Okay.
10 CD watch is less than 2 sets of 5 CD watch. Think about that when you think about transparency.
Then what?
And
Wait.
a 10
Facts, facts.
That is a fact.
okay,
That is
Then
a
what?
fact.
a 10 CD watch
Mhm.
from Osu or wherever, Nima, wherever you get your watch it. I just want y'all to know that 10 CD watch it. I'm gonna talk slow. 10 CD watch it is less than 2 sets of 5 CD watch it.
All right.
It's a fact.
Let that sink in.
It's a fact.
Right.
Cap.
And open the door and let it sink in.
Yes, let
Okay.
this sink in. This is
Yeah.
true. And it's not
Yeah,
just the
yeah,
watch,
yeah.
even the gobe.
The
Listen,
go bed and everything.
two,
It's
two,
Ghana.
three
Accra
CD
we
gobe.
did.
Yeah, 3 CD gobe is definitely heavier than 1 CD gobe. So, guys, if you're doing the math, come on, let's break it up. Sometimes you have to break it up, right?
Okay.
There's more to that. But it's a
And
good joke.
also,
It's a good joke.
and also, if anybody's listening that sells Ghanaian food, you should your food should come with a disclaimer about the pepper, how much pepper you got
Spice level.
in the food, how spicy it is, okay? Because I think we've gotten to the point that we have to do that. Not everybody wants to eat a bucket full of pepper in his stew.
Okay, I'm gonna
Okay.
snitch. Now I'm gonna snitch.
Okay,
Yesterday,
and Manchester.
I hit Kwesi up like, hey, let's do
Yeah.
show prep. They're like, dude, I ate some spicy food. You should me a glass of milk.
Yeah, because I had to drink milk last night and it wasn't cool. Okay, that wasn't okay. So to all the Ghanaian food sellers everywhere in the States, in Ghana, please have a disclaimer, okay? Because we might start soon. Some of us might start soon, you guys. And don't call me weak, because toughness is not a measure of how much pepper you can chew. Okay, we don't measure toughness by how much pepper you can chew. And to Kwame and everybody that support Manchester United, you guys suck. And I know this video is gonna stay on the internet for a while, and I want the whole world to know that me, Kwesi, I was born on a Sunday. I'm saying this. You guys suck. 6 goals. That's embarrassing. I'm disappointed, man.
Guys, I don't know if you guys did any.
So I'm gonna end right there. I appreciate you
I
guys.
won't let you end
Okay.
on a very terrible note.
That's where we're
listen,
gonna
listen.
end, Kuju.
AY,
That is where we're going to
AY.
end.
It was 6 goals to 3. If you do the math, it is only 2-1. It is only 2-1. Divide
Did
both
you
sides
get
by
any
3.
points from that?
Just divide both sides by 3. We
Did
lost
you even
2-1.
have
It's not that
men
bad.
on the field?
I'm not
team
going
Why
to-
is it that?
I'm
Why
not
is it
going to
that
sit here
every time? Is it a Ghanaian thing that every time we lose in soccer, we start doing math or
Kwesi,
anything like? Is it?
That's very
Kwesi,
characteristic of
do you know a
Ghanaian.
Ghanaian thing? Do you know a Ghanaian thing?
What is a Ghanaian thing?
You know I can just remove you from the stream like that, right? That is a Ghanaian. That is a Ghanaian thing. Listen, no man you slander is
man.
going to be tolerated on my show.
Oh
Man,
my
we do
goodness.
that-
we do this with the Black Stars. We do this with Manchester United. Like man, it is just we got to stop. Okay, I know we are good at math. That's fine, but let's not bring our mad skills into soccer. You lose, okay? And yeah, you see, my wife said, don't mind him. He got pepper trouble. Yeah, I do actually. I had
I
to
had to
drink.
let you
I
read
had a
that.
lot of milk. Yeah, I had a lot of milk last night, and
But we're happy you're doing well. At least you were able to
it's
make it to the show. And thank you so
yeah,
much for
yeah, yeah.
joining the show.
Uh,
For those of you who stayed on, dropped a like on, you left comments, really appreciate it. The tribe couldn't do what we do without the people who watch us every day and let us know what they think and teach us so much. Imari and all the wonderful people who come in the comment section and just help us out, guide the
Kwame,
conversation. Yes, Kwame.
my hater,
He said he's not your fan. Yeah, I don't think he's your hater, but he's not your fan.
my number one
Um,
fan hater.
we,
He's
we,
confused. He's a confused hater.
we really appreciate it. Sam, Ifia, Kwesi, thank you so much for being on the show
No
today.
problem.
We had an amazing time. You guys were very transparent with us. Kwesi shared his pepper struggles. Ifia shared her trust issues. And we really appreciate it so much. It's been a wonderful show. And once again, from the tribe,
It's a
Uh,
bye.
it's